Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have been doing travel baseball all day, and just got back, had to do some driving, and we won the first game, and we lost the first game, and we tied the second game. I hate it. I think tying should be illegal. That shouldn't be allowed. But anyway, the market is very flat. I haven't been missing much, but XRP is holding up in a pretty good spot, up to 240. Then we got this. This is Adrienne Harris. Now she's the superintendent of financial services up in New York. That's the same outfit that had to approve Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD. She's talking about all the personnel there, how pro-crypto they are.
So our crypto team is 60 people. Right? Examiners, financial crimes people, forensic accountants, crypto natives. We've got some amazing crypto bros on our regulatory team. Right? So it's a really diverse group of people. But what we now see is the demand for our license and charter just goes up and to the right? That rigor, that transparency is important for responsible innovators. And so it's not just about the rules on the books, but when it's executed well, when it's operationalized well, you see that drives innovation.
All right. That's a good thing. Look at this. This is an even better thing. ETF expert Nate Gerasi says BlackRock will file for XRP and SOL ETFs. That would be freaking huge. Eleanor Terrett put this out. This is wild. A digital billboard accusing the world's largest stablecoin Tether of corruption is being featured in Times Square, New York City right now. Then Michael Arrington, who is Brad Garlinghouse's best buddy, says, did Jeremy Allaire, CEO of Circle, which issues USDC, really put a billboard in front of Howard Lutnick's office saying that only money launderers use Tether? I keep hearing this, but can't find it anywhere. Amazing if true. I really need to see a picture. Well, there's a picture, but I don't know if it's Jeremy Allaire behind it. They've got a whole website. It's called Tethered to Corruption. I think we've featured this before. Look at this. Terrorist financing, fraud investigations, and a close relationship with China. Can you really trust Tether? Tether has always maintained close links with Sam Bankman-Fried, former Empire. Well, I know that's a true story. I'll never forget when it was BitBoy that went down to the Bahamas when the FTX thing was going on, and he went over to Deltec Bank, which is the bank for Tether, is my understanding. And I don't remember what he said, but it was all right down there. Here's the Tether CEO.
Relationship with Cantor is very strong. We are very grateful to the fact that they onboarded us in a period when the past administration in the United States just tried to almost kill crypto, right? You remember Operation Choke Point 2.0 and the rest.
And they never went after Tether. More on that in the group.
So Cantor took the time to have and do the deepest due diligence on Tether that is inimaginable. And they got comfortable with us. They decided to onboard us and allow us to keep all our treasury bills with them. So we are very great relationship with Cantor.
Okay, what else do we have? BNY Mellon, the oldest U.S. bank, is expanding services for Circle, allowing select clients to send and receive funds for USDC transactions, boosting stablecoin adoption in traditional finance. Then this is very interesting. John Bollinger, he's the creator. I'm not a chart guy, but he's the guy that, you hear these chart guys referred to Bollinger Bands. He's the guy that created it. He says, of all the major crypto vehicles, Ripple resisted the recent singing of the sirens song best. Will it become the new leader, XRP USD? And this guy says, ladies and gentlemen, John Bollinger, the creator of the infamous Bollinger Bands indicator, has spoken. That can only be good, folks. Okay, here is And I said, actually, XRP is. Listen to what he said. This is Tom Lee.
I mean, from the shorter lens, this incoming administration, I think, is doing things that look very disruptive at the moment, but I think structurally are really positive, because it's a path for U.S. deficit to normalize. And I think, indeed, I think animal spirits are coming back, even though things like these consumer confidence reports don't show it. And we know that there is tangible drivers of productivity, including AI, in front of us, that justify, investors allocating capital. And of course, there's still plenty of disruption ahead, including crypto. And, I think Bitcoin is still our favorite idea for this year. So we think it'll be the best performing asset class, even better than gold.
XRP is my favorite.
But I think anchoring all of this is a demographic story.
All right. Now, this is great. This is put out by the Black Swan Capitalist. I'm a big fan of this guy. He puts out really good, and he and his brother put out really good information, including this video.
The Ripple protocol, unlike others, has a clear set of rules and guidelines that govern the functioning of that blockchain network. And that's how that consensus is reached amongst other nodes and other financial institutions. So there is a unique incentive to use this technology. And that's why we see some of the world's largest organizations working very closely with Ripple. And let's clarify, what is blockchain? Blockchain is really just an accounting mechanism. It's a digital ledger that keeps the perfect track record of every transaction going on. So blockchain is nothing more than an updated financial payment rail. And the banks have adopted the Ripple protocol using XRP, which is the secret to solving the global payments issue, because it offers a number of advantages over traditional payment methods. And here are some key benefits: speed, cost, liquidity, security, and interoperability. These are the kind of advantages that have led to the growing adoption of the Ripple protocol and XRP by financial institutions, as they look for a more efficient and cost-effective way to do and settle cross-border payments. And that's again why we see Ripple solving a real problem. And we see the institutions embracing crypto, but they're not really talking about what's going on. But we are paying attention, unlike the Bitcoin maxis who won't even listen to the other side of the story.
As an example, Ripple with RippleNet are set out to achieve, right? So lower cost, faster, more transparency and greater access. And I think one of the big questions here is, what happens with the correspondent banking model? I think the role that the banking system plays is crucial in the global economy, and I think that will continue. But the sort of traditional model of, pre-funding accounts, for liquidity purposes, nostro-vostro accounts. It's proven that part of the correspondent banking model is not needed.
All right. There's more. Listen to this guy. He says, look past Bitcoin.
Today is, how should an allocator think about their allocation to digital assets if this is the first foray into the asset class? How should they think about allocating to directional or long bias strategies versus market neutral ones?
Yeah, I think it came up in the prior panel. To me, one of the critical things is to look past Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a great asset. I'm not going to say anything negative about it, but it is one very specific sort of thesis, one specific use case. And if you're interested in crypto, sort of through the promise of blockchain technology, smart programmable money, then you need to be looking at other investments as well. We're very convicted in the idea of diversification, which, crypto seems to be one of the few markets where people don't actually believe.
All right. And then we've got this one. I saw this video going around the other day. They don't specifically mention Ripple, but when you listen to it, that's all you can hear.
This reset will be a huge shock when Americans catch on. That's why the average person won't hear a word about the story until it's obvious to just about everyone. And by then, it's going to be too late. Yep. In the months ahead, central banks around the world are planning to go digital. Many of the legacy banks you've heard of, where you probably even keep your money, like Bank of America, Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, they're about to be reset. overhauled by a new type of technology called fintech, which is short for financial technology.
Yeah, can I ask you, what exactly does that mean for the banks and all of us, you and me?
Essentially, it means the function of our banks is about to change. They probably won't raise public suspicion about it by changing the signs on your bank's branches, but according to my sources, the Federal Reserve will soon own all the banks, and your local branch, it's simply going to be like a licensee of the Fed. In other words, the banking infrastructure is being rebuilt from the ground up, and very few Americans are aware this is even happening. We are right on the verge of a once-in-a-generation opportunity to profit by investing in the companies that are building out the architecture for this massive shift. This reset will be a huge...
All right, I don't do it much, but a lot of people ask me about baseball sometimes with my sons, and so I was gonna give you a teachable moment that I had with my youngest today. But sometimes when these kids start out the season, especially when they step up to a new level, sometimes and often they get a little intimidated when kids are hitting their growth spurts ahead of them and all that, and they kind of become a deer in the headlights with hitting. And so my son, in his first few games, he was reacting like that, and he just wasn't. He's seeing his friends hit their growth spurt. He's getting a little intimidated. There's a lot of social influences at that age. So he was going up, striking out, and I mean, this kid's been hitting with me since he was 5 years old. And so what I've always done with my kids when we go through this kind of thing, every time they have a bad day, I immediately take them to the cage the very next day. I take them to the cage and to hit the reset button. And what I told him yesterday, I said, in life, there's a lot of things that you're not going to be able to control. Anything you focus your energy and your time on that are things that are beyond your control is a waste of your time and energy. I told him, I said, what are the things in baseball that you can control? You can control that you practice swinging, hitting more balls than all the other kids. I said, I've noticed when you run out onto the field, you do a slow jog, like you could take it or leave it. I said, and I was telling him there was a catcher on my oldest son's team when he was in high school. This guy, when he came out of the dugout, he came out like a rocket running to go catch, start warming the pitchers up. When he ran back into the dugout, he ran like a rocket. And it was extremely noticeable. And I was telling my youngest, whether it's now getting your coaches to notice you or in the future getting a scout to notice you, when you do things like that, you're immediately recognized. It sets you apart from all the other players on the field. Any scout worth their salt that sees a guy running full blast everywhere he goes is going to look at that guy and say, well, there's a guy, that's the kind of guy I want. And I can't remember the coach. I want to say it was Bear Bryant maybe. He said, I don't want the natural athlete. I want the guy that goes for the hard ones. And so I was telling my son, and I tell my college son who is playing in JUCO, I tell him every day, you don't waste your time worrying about things that you can't control. You focus your time on outworking everybody and doing the things that you can control, having a good attitude, going out there and playing hard, sliding into the plate, playing high energy, practice, and doing it consistently, practicing when everybody else quits, turning the lights turning the lights off in the cages if you're hitting. Wait to hit for 30 more minutes than everybody else. And that goes for anything in life. Okay, there's my spiel. But anyway, so after I put my son in the cage, today he went into the game, and I told him, I said, remember, you're one hit away from the whole thing changing. And from an early age, I trained him to switch it, but he's at a stage where he's in middle school. He's trying to get to where he's as confident on the right side as he is the left side, which is where he started. So I said, I want you, for the whole time that you're in middle school, I want you to go right, left, no matter who's pitching or whether they're pitching left-handed or right-handed. So that's what he's doing. I said, by the time you hit high school, if you do that, you'll be confident on both sides of that plate, no matter what. And so today he gets up there right-handed, whiff, and on the third one, he had a line drive textbook right up the middle. Then he comes up to the plate the next time, bats left-handed. Boom. Opposite field, high line drive into left field. And that's the story. And the other thing he did, which I told him I was very proud of him for all of them, is when he came out of that dugout, he was running full speed to go play first base. So, lesson learned. Okay, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com. Now, if you want to join through the Patreon, you can go to DAIXRP.com, or you can go down below this video. If you want to join through YouTube, click the join button. It's the same thing, extended video, and you get it with no advertisements over the video. Now, today in the group, what I'm going to talk about is we're going to go deep. I found a video today. We're going to go deep down the rabbit hole into all the world's a stage file. This one's not going to be one you want to miss. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.